No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mindell. The Illegal Curve post-game show starts now.
Good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba. For all those joining us live this evening on our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms, we say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show with Dave Manouk. With Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mindell, here to talk about the Winnipeg Jets' dominant victory over the Colorado Avalanche, a 6-2 win for the Jets in one of their most complete efforts of the season, just absolutely taking their Central Division rival to the woodshed in downtown Winnipeg, controlling the game from start to finish and culminating in that victory. Very impressive win for the Jets tonight. We'll get into it all tonight on the Illegal Curve post-game show. Gentlemen, it's been about, about 10 hours since we last got together. The strangest thing, Spency is on my driveway tailgating. I had no idea that he was going to be there, but he made dinner for the entire family. He fed us breakfast earlier this morning at Farmery Brewery when we did the show live on location, and now he fed my entire family dinner as well. Nice to see both you guys tonight after that Jets victory.
Nice to see you, boys. Nice to see everybody joining us live here after a big Jets win over the Colorado Avalanche. And boys, the day started with our good friend Hart Jacob buying me a beer and me drinking it at around 10 in the morning. So we might as well crack another one here, boys. Illegal Curve Light Lager. I know Drew's got one there as well. So yeah. Toast to the Jets here, L'chaim.
It's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. somewhere, right? As you can keep drinking it. That's the new magic hour. It's 10 a.m. I think there's probably more than a few brews being consumed, hopefully responsibly, tonight as the celebratory mood in Winnipeg, certainly downtown at the arena, and just an absolute complete effort by the Winnipeg Jets.
And the Jets are undefeated, boys, when we do a show at Farmery and Spency's cooking pancakes, sausages, and bacon. I don't know if you guys knew that, but yes. So you mentioned it earlier, Drew, but yeah, shout out to Spency, who's a well-known personality for people that watch this show. But I mean, he brought his flat top grill. He was cooking. It was amazing. And, obviously thanks to the good folks at Farmery for hosting us. I think it goes without saying, boys, that we're going to be doing another show there in the not so distant future. But yes, Drew, let's talk about this win, because I mean, are the Jets ever going to lose again? Like, they just keep winning. With the exception of that San Jose game, but like, it's unbelievable. They made it look easy tonight, boys.
They're doing a lot of winning. They're doing a lot of winning, as he said, but more importantly, in the post Kyle Connor era.
Yeah.
If I would have told you guys the Jets would score 10 goals, 11 goals.
Dave, 11.
11. I know.
Don't shortchange them.
When I originally was writing the tweet, it had 10, but then they added the 6th goal. So it's 11 goals in 2 games. One of those games against the LA Kings, not exactly a team that gives up a lot of goals. Yeah, it's a different story a little bit, but 11 goals since Kyle Connor has left the building. And obviously you're not going to minimize the impact of losing the top scorer on this team. But we did say it would need to become more of a committee. And, to me, right from the puck drop, Gabriel Velarde was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And I thought, my personal opinion, again, I was in the building for 2 periods, home for 1. I thought Alex Iafallo was excellent. I really did. I thought he played probably I know people were saying he had a 4-assist game, but I thought that was his best game all over the ice. I thought defensively he was really good on the penalty kill. I thought he made a lot of really nice plays. I thought that, and obviously I'm rather partial to Poison. So, I mean, when he scores a goal, I'm never going to complain, but there were a lot of guys who had big nights, and obviously Connor Hellebuck was very good when he needed to be. It was a complete game. And that, what did we talk about? What did we talk about this morning? Not to suggest that we're geniuses or anything, wink, wink. But the fact is, we said that the Jets are going to have to compete, and they're going to have to play a consistent game from what they played before. And, obviously the lineup for the Avs changed 5 minutes before warmup, or during warmup, I should say, with the announcement that Cale Makar wouldn't be playing. And you don't minimize that, but the Jets are without Kyle Connor. So, teams suffer injuries. You deal with it. It's the point of the season where that's just the reality. And the Avs were the number 1 team in the Central coming into today's game. They no longer are. It's the Jets temporarily, because Dallas is in action right now.
Yeah,
And
Dallas,
if
St.
you-
Louis, we'll keep an eye on throughout this post-game show as well. And you mentioned that, Dave, that the good news for the Winnipeg Jets started before the game, before puck drop, with the unexpected announcement that Cale Makar was out of the lineup with a lower body injury. And the Avalanche really, to my mind, they played like a team that was, sort of hanging their heads from the start. Without Makar in their lineup, as if they can't win without Cale Makar, which of course is nonsense because they're still riddled with talent, but they just looked defeated almost from puck drop. The Jets controlled that play, and really, I thought they played a little bit of bully ball against the Colorado Avalanche tonight, being more physical, and really, there were 3 times in that first period where I counted that the Jets, one by Lowry, one by DeMello, and one by Brendan Dillon, where they laid a body check that resulted in Avalanche players being on their rear end. I thought the Jets just were more physical and controlled the play that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned control the play. Like the first period, I thought the Jets were the better team, but it wasn't. I mean, there weren't a lot of shots. Like it was a low event first period. There weren't a lot of shots in this game, and it was kind of, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned the physicality. I mean, this game was a little bit weird in the sense that it was played at even strength for the most part. And the Avalanche, look, if you take Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Valerie Nichushkin off this team, it's a bad team. Yeah. And we talked about this a little bit this morning. And yes, they're obviously still missing Gabe Landeskog, and they're missing Samuel Girard. And we already talked about Cale Makar, arguably the best defenseman in the league. But I mean, the forward depth has to be a big concern for Jared Bednar and Joe Sakic and the entire Avs organization, right? Like the Jets at points in this game made the Avalanche look pretty silly, right? And I just think they couldn't really get much going. You saw Caleb Jones break his stick there. And obviously with Cale Makar going down, you had Sam Malinsky jumping up to the second pair with Bowen Byram, and then Caleb Jones was on the third pair with Jack Johnson. And aside from the goal boys, I thought Jack Johnson was probably their best defenseman. Like, you could look at it 2 ways. You could look at it like, the Jets were that good at shutting them down. And what really stood out to me in stylistically is the Jets just don't, they just don't give teams a lot of space. They did not give the Avalanche a lot of time and space. And the Avalanche had the puck in the Jet zone for the, almost the last 5 or 6 minutes of that game. But for the most part, it was just Nathan McKinnon skating the puck. Exactly.
Outside.
So the Jets really played well defensively tonight. I thought, Dave mentioned Alex Iafallo, who obviously gets his first goal in a really long time. First goal in 18, I think, Dave, or first goal in 19, right? And Mike McIntyre, got to give him credit. Our good friend of the show mentioned this. All the goals that were scored tonight were pickups that until the
Ehlers goal. So
and
the
first
5,
Ezzy, with all due respect to Mike, I tweeted that first. Mike was secondary. Just saying.
Yeah, we like to give Mike credit more than you.
Fair enough. Exactly, Dave. I give you credit every single day. I don't give Mike credit every single day, but I'll go back and I'll like it, I'll retweet it, I'll do all that stuff.
That's all I'm asking.
But it was a very impressive game. And look, I think, we talked about, the goaltending was not good tonight, and I don't think you're necessarily going to, hang the loss on the goaltending. But I think,
the Jets were the better team. I mean, this isn't one area that you would point to that said, the reason why Colorado lost. It's not, Colorado didn't lose this game. The Jets won this game because they were better than the Avs in every aspect of tonight's game. They controlled the pace of play.
Except faceoffs.
Well,
I'm just bugging
fine.
you. I'm bugging you. I'm just bugging you.
Fine. You want to win something, you win something there. Yes, they won 59% of the draws compared to the Jets' 41%. But, I know you're being tongue-in-cheek there. The Jets controlled this game.
I'm actually being beer-in-cheek. Or tongue in beer.
That works as well. Beer in mouth at the very least. The Jets controlled this game top to bottom. They were the more physical team. They were the team that had better attention to detail. They were the team that wanted it more.
Can we give Josh Manson credit for that hit on Adam Lowry, though?
It was a big hit.
You're right. That was an old school rock'em sock'em hit.
Yeah. That was the biggest hit. But yeah, by that the Avs laid tonight. But they were
the Avalanche aren't a physical team.
They're not a physical team. I agree. And so when the Jets were physical, and when they were, doing all the right things defensively in keeping Colorado and neutralizing Colorado, and then being opportunistic with their chances, Colorado was frustrated. go back and watch the highlights. How many sticks did Colorado break over their own crossbar or their own goalposts after making bad plays and the Jets making good defensive plays that led
Bo
to
Jackson would be
chances?
proud, Drew.
Yeah, exactly. Because he snapped it over his knee. The only difference there. Look, the Jets were full marks for their victory, top to bottom. They were the better team, 1 through 12 up front. Look, the Jets, the Jets top line, in the last number of years would score a lot of goals, but they would give up a ton of goals as well. So it's net negative. This has been such a net positive for the Jets with their top line, even when their top line hasn't necessarily been Ehlers, Scheifele, and Velarde. Even before, when it was Connor, Scheifele, and Ehlers before Connor's injury, that top line is playing such great hockey, and they're playing 200-foot hockey. Mark Scheifele deserves all the praise in the world because he looks like a completely different player out there.
He really does
in his own zone, and that's where the Jets. The Jets controlling of the play starts in their own zone, Dave, and you saw it again tonight.
Yeah, I was just more the Scheifele thing than anything else. But no, I mean, it sounds, we've said it, we have echoed what Rick Bowness has said because it seems to work, right? And that's what he had to have got his team to buy into. That if you play a defensively sound game, if you play a structured game, you will still get those opportunities to create offense. And again, now that these guys, for the most part, exception of Sniper and Smoke, that'd be quite the TV show in the 80s. But with the exception of those guys, I mean, most of the guys have contracts now. So you don't necessarily have to worry about guys who need to, think about individuality. You're focused on team success. And that comes from playing defensively good hockey. And that, again, that's the why this Pierre-Luc Dubois trade is paying dividends for the Winnipeg Jets, because obviously Rasmus Kupari is injured and isn't coming back anytime soon, according to Rick Bowness. But Alex Iafallo, even though he hadn't scored, and he was still serviceable in his role, but he played a really good game tonight. And Gabriel Velarde, even though he missed so much time, look what he's done in the last 3 games, right? So he's looked really good on that top line. I mean, they really haven't missed a beat since the movement of Velarde up to line 1 and Kyle Connor obviously going to IR. So, I mean, this one of the things that we wanted to see was how would this team respond again to a more soundly structured play of 60-minute game, and that's what they're doing. And again, you're doing it against good teams, right? They're 8-3-0 against the Central Division, 2-0 now against Colorado. Obviously, you'd rather not be 0-2 against Dallas. But the fact of the matter is that they're playing well against the Central. They're playing well, obviously, against the East this year. That pesky Pacific.
They're playing well.
Yeah, but that's right. They're playing well, Drew. And so that's what the focus is. And it's kind of like, and I know it's funny because we've been seeing it throughout the chat right? People are like, when is the shoe going to drop? When is this team going to become last year's team? But I just don't see it. I just don't see it from Connor Hellebuck. Again, another quality start from him. To this team, I mean, we had the chat. I don't remember who had it. I think it was Brian Harder made the comment. 19 straight games without giving up more than 3 goals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're defensively sound, and I mean, obviously, we weren't anticipating they were going to score 11 in the last 2. But the point is, so they're getting the offense and they're getting the defense. That's a winning combination.
Well, you talk about the number of games since they've given up 3 goals. I mean, our friend Judy Olin tweeted the same thing. It's now been 7 straight games that the Jets have given up 2 or less goals. Mm-hmm. So you how impressed the 3 or less goal stat is impressive, but to give up 2 or less goals in 7 consecutive games in this day and age in the NHL, where everything is a power play, and it's not like the Jets special teams, by the way, or anything to write home about, speaks to how they're controlling the game. I mean, it's been relatively easy compared to past years, Ezzy, for Connor Hellebuck this season. At least, after the first few games were a little bit of a rough start to the year, it's been by and large pretty easy for him. He's racking up all these wins, and he's not being asked to do anything dramatic. I mean, tonight's game, I mean, how many, grade A saves, grade A opportunities did Colorado have? I mean, yeah, they got a couple goals, and, that's going to happen. But, for the entirety of the game at 5-on-5, the Avs, who, by the way, have Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Valerie Nichushkin, had 5 high danger chances. That's it. I mean, that's pretty damn good that the Jets are able to neutralize them to the extent that they're doing so.
Right. And I agree with you 100%. And when Dave talks about structure, like these are the things, like this isn't sexy to talk about structure and everything like that, but good teams are structured, right? Like the Vegas Golden Knights, the Colorado Avalanche, the St. Louis Blues, right? Like the Tampa Bay Lightning, pick any team that's won the Stanley Cup basically ever, right? And they're like, these are New Jersey Devils in the late 90s, early 2000s type of numbers. Obviously, hockey has changed a lot since then, but you watch like this game tonight, and you saw this in the second and third periods against the LA Kings, second and third period against the LA Kings, right? Like the defensemen are just in good position. The forwards, you got the back pressure. Everybody is going, like everyone on the Jets just seems to be where they are supposed to be. Like you're just seeing really good defensive play from all over the ice. And we talked about it, right? Like, and maybe I underestimated this, guys, the impact of Gabe Vilardi defensively, the impact of Nino Niederreiter defensively, the impact of Alex Iafallo, who Dave talked about. And I agree. It's not just the goal. Iafallo was great tonight, and he was great against the LA Kings as well. It's just like the Jets are a good defensive team. That's just period, right? And, we can talk about why they're a good defensive team, but this is not something that we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years. We're just seeing again, to steal Dave's term, like a buy-in from basically everybody. Like you can see it. And look, we don't know what's going to happen throughout the course of the rest of the season. I mean, the Jets could go into a slump. I don't see that happening either, Dave or Drew. Like I just don't see that epic type of collapse coming.
Sustained slump.
Exactly.
I don't see it.
And the Jets tonight, they made Colorado look like a pretty average team. Like McKinnon got his chances. Mikko Rantanen got his chances.
Not that many.
Obviously the Avalanche scored a couple goals. Yeah, but like aside from that, like you didn't see, Ross Colton and Miles Wood getting a lot of chances out there. Jonathan Drouin, we should mention, former Halifax Moosehead, just like Nick Ehlers and Nathan McKinnon. But yeah, for the most part, the Jets just kept within their structure, kept things to the outside, were opportunistic, got a power play goal. And obviously, when the Avalanche broke the shutout and then they punched back with Vilardi's second goal, Dave, that was killer. Like that, if you're looking for a turning point, I agree with Drew, though. This was not a game where the Jets played a good half period or a good period. They were the better team through 60 minutes, but that goal by Vilardi to basically, that was kind of the final knockout punch.
Well, why don't we get into the goals as part of the Betway game recap?
It's only 8 to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Only 8. Won't take us that long. It's a Saturday night. You're watching the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg. Hope you had an enjoyable Saturday wherever you spent it, however you spent it. We, of course, started our Saturday off at the Farmery Brewery location at number 2 Donald Street. Did a live on location broadcast of the Illegal Curve hockey show. We're wrapping it up now 12 hours later with the Illegal Curve post-game show talking about the Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. We do our goal-by-goal recap. It's part of the Betway game recap.
The Betway game recap.
And the Betway game recap is brought to you by our friends at Betway, the most trusted voice in sports betting, both in Canada and all around the world. Betway is the sports betting app that puts you, the customer, at the forefront with a large selection of betting options in sports, as well as strong promotions and fair odds. What are you waiting for? Head on over to Betway and bet your way. Must be 19 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. Hope you bet on my University of Kentucky Wildcats. They were the underdog this afternoon against the North Carolina Tar Heels, but the young Kentucky Wildcats did pull off the victory, so I have to give them a bit of a shout out.
This is Wildcats lunch?
Of course they did, Drew, because Kentucky rules.
There you go. Thank you, Ezzy. That's what
I'm saying that specifically in case Laura's watching.
She's not watching. I can promise you that. She's putting the kids to bed. But I appreciate you saying that nonetheless. So you're allowed back, at least on our property, for the next couple minutes at most. The Jets open the scoring. The Jets open the scoring at the.
Dave Drew won't touch on that. No. Dave won't touch, or he won't touch on that. It's okay, Drew. I'll bring it up later.
You can bring it up all you want. I'll just preempt you. My wife and I built a new bed. Ezzy finds that to be the most amazing thing in the world. But yes, that's how we spent part of our Saturday afternoon. Is we had to do a home improvement project, and it was building a new bed that we successfully.
Drew knows how to use an Allen key, folks.
Well, we did use the Allen key. Let me get you that. The Allen key got a lot of use. Let me tell you. Anyways, the Jets.
That bed's probably going to get a lot of use too, as well, Drew.
Not touching that one at all, Mr. Ginsburg. Not for 1 second. The Jets open
for sleeping, Drew. Get your head out of the gutter. What are you talking about?
The family show, guys. We have Bailey in the chat. Come on.
Yeah, I was talking about quality sleep, Dave. You obviously got that.
I understood.
The Jets open the scoring at the 13:56 mark of the first period. As we mentioned, not a lot of shots in that first period. Only 12 total, 6 aside. The Jets made theirs count. Gabe Vilardi gets his third of the year. It'll be his first of the game. There's some foreshadowing there. Assists to Mark Scheifele and Josh Morrissey. And it starts by a nice aggressive play by Morrissey right at the Avalanche blue line. He isn't able to keep the puck in, but he does control the puck, and then he skates it to some soft ice where he finds Scheifele, and then Scheifele is able to find Vilardi, and Vilardi was too big and too strong for the Avalanche to handle tonight. And you saw it on both of his goals, and this was a very nice one to give the Jets the early 1-0 lead, Ezzy.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there about Josh Morrissey. He just does some nice work walking the line. And as you mentioned, like gets it to Scheifele, and Scheifele and Vilardi seem to have a kind of a sixth sense for each other. They were fantastic in this game, continuing their strong play from the game against LA. But yeah, just a really nice kind of spin around pass from Scheifele. And as you talked about, Drew, that's just Vilardi out muscling the Avalanche defenseman. And I have to go back and check. Got the replay up here, who that was, but I think it might have been Bowen Byram might have been the defenseman.
Bowen Byram was involved there, definitely. And I think it was also, this one wasn't Caleb Jones. This one might have been Josh Manson, but I could be wrong on that one. Caleb Jones,
Byram, and I think it was Malinsky. Regardless, Vilardi made a nice play driving the net, and it was a nice play from Scheif, Dave.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't know you were going to go to me, but yeah, I mean, I think there's no question about it.
I just prefer to go to you, Dave. I don't really like to go to Drew that often, to be honest with you. He talks too much.
Perry was suggesting it was my time to shine at 3-2-1, so I was getting ready. But look, the play is made by Josh Morrissey, right? Because the way he keeps that puck in the Av zone is key, and then obviously, and then you're right. It's a nice play by Scheifele, and we're really seeing a chemistry being built between Scheifele and Vilardi. And remember, like we talk about the improved defensive play of Mark Scheifele. Well, now we're seeing, Gabe Vilardi, who we know is more defensively responsible than Kyle Connor. Not that takes much effort, but the fact of the matter is that you're getting that again, both. So you get that benefit of having him on the top line, but you're also seeing what that guy can do. And where is he? He goes to the front of the net. And that's the one thing with, Gabe, with that top line, is that you needed someone who is willing to get dirty. And Gabriel Vilardi really does seem like a guy who's willing to get to that front of the net. And put, just take, I mean, we saw it with both of his goals really, but again, just to make, be a bull and just be strong in front and create opportunity as a result. And that's what we've talked about for years for this Jets club, is that you need more guys to be in the front of the net, in the hard areas to play. And Gabriel Vilardi is showing that he's capable of doing that. And it's interesting, Drew, because it's funny. It wasn't a boring period of hockey, but at one point it was weird because the shots were 4-1 Colorado, and the Jets had taken, I think, 10 shot attempts, and they just hadn't hit the net. So it was just an interesting sort of, the game was interesting. It was an exciting first period. It just was low event in the sense that there weren't a lot of shots, being taken that were hitting the net. I should say, not being taken, that were hitting the net. And ultimately the Jets were able to effectively use the shots that they did take.
Dave, I just wanted to correct myself there. It was Ross Colton, who's a center. Yeah. It was Vilardi and Ross Colton kind of left him. So it was Colton who was trailing Vilardi there. Not, I think I said Malinsky, but Malinsky and Bowen Byram were the second pair for the Avalanche. But your point is well made there, Dave. Like, it just seems like, the players on this line, obviously Scheifele, Ehlers, Vilardi is who I'm talking about. They just complement each other really well. And it almost brings up the question, like when Kyle Connor comes back, You know, you don't want to really break that up. Obviously,
It's going to
Kyle
be a
Connor,
long
guys,
while before that's going to be an issue.
and when Connor comes back, he goes to the top line. I mean, I'm not trying to create any type of controversy here. All I'm saying though is Scheifele, Velarde, Ehlers, like they're like
I wouldn't be so
they're a
certain about
Corsi,
that.
it's a Corsi dream.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I would be that certain about that, because this line looks very effective.
You got 8 weeks. You got 8 weeks before we have to have this
Sure.
conversation.
Well, right now we're dealing with recency bias, so leave me alone.
Yeah. You're right. As long as you acknowledge that you're dealing with the recency bias,
I
that's
do.
the important part. But they do look incredible, and they've had great chemistry since they've been put together. And you weren't sure what they were going to be like, and you weren't sure if what Gabe Velarde was going to be like until he sort of got back up to speed. But you can see that he's now playing like he did at the beginning of the year in that very brief sample size before he went out with the injury.
Well, Bailey's got the numbers there. I mean, it's unbelievable. Boys, like this is going to turn out to be, I think, one of those trades that you look like it's going to be like a Taylor Hall for Adam Larson type of trade. It's that one-sided.
It certainly does appear to be that way so far. And
again,
and the thing about about Pierre-Luc Dubois is that you sort of know what his ceiling is, whereas Velarde, you don't yet know what his ceiling is, and that's the tantalizing perspective for the Winnipeg Jets. Is that maybe there's even more than what we're seeing, but if this is what we're seeing, well, he certainly looks to be the equal of, if not better than Pierre-Luc Dubois. 1-0 for the Jets at that point in time. They make it 2-0, less than 2
Sorry
minutes
for that
later.
burp, Drew. I thought I was muted.
Thank you, Ezzy. Vlad Namestnikov gets his third of the year. It's a power play goal. Assist to Alex Iafallo and Neil Pionk. This is with Josh Manson in the box for the puck over glass penalty, Ezzy's least favorite penalty. Manson in the box. The Jets' first power play unit controls it for the majority of the time that they're on the ice, but they aren't able to really they control it, but they don't really do much that's dangerous. The second unit comes on, and in the blink of an eye, I don't know that they've been on the ice for 10 seconds. It goes from Pionk down low to Iafallo up to Namestnikov, tic-tac-toe into the back of the net, Dave. 2-0 for the Jets.
No, I mean, you're right, Drew. And the first power play unit got some good looks, and Nate Schmidt's looking good out there. I thought defensively he made some nice plays, and I thought again on the power play he's looking like he's more effective, and he doesn't get an assist on this one, but he keeps that puck in, and you're right, Drew. They didn't. I think it was a total of like about 5 seconds before they were able to put that in the net. But really nice play by everybody. I mean, the Avs leave Vlad Namestnikov wide open, and credit Alex Iafallo for being able to find him, and Neil Pionk for getting him that puck quick. So I mean, it's kind of a tic-tac-toe, or bang, 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 as our friend Dennis would say. But, I mean, it's an effective power play goal. And it's one of the things we've talked about, just special teams. There's one thing, if you want to be critical of the Jets, and even Rick Bowness himself has acknowledged it. I think he acknowledged it. I don't know if it was today's pregame skate or the last practice, but he just said that our special teams haven't been good. Well, that one way to get effective is start scoring on it. And it was a really nice play. And it's good that it's a second line, because the first unit had a lot of looks but the second unit contributing is important as well. And it's good for those guys. What did we talk about? We talked about last game, all the goals came from your top line. And one of the things what we said is that's great, but that's not realistic to consider.
It's not sustainable. You can't do that every night.
Right. That's
Dave.
right.
And another thing I wanted to mention too on this play, you're right. This play is all Iafallo identifying how open Namestnikov is there in the slot, making that play. So it's a nice play between Iafallo and Namestnikov, but also Nino Niederreiter causing a little bit of havoc in front of the net, right? Just going to the net, giving the Avalanche fits, right? I think it was Valerie Nichushkin, if I'm not mistaken, who was checking Niederreiter there. So just wanted to get that in there. But yeah, really nice little, play, but nice pass by Iafallo, nice finish by Namestnikov, the Jets newbies.
Yeah, and a very nice first period for the Jets. It's 2-0 after 20 minutes. Good evening, everyone. You are watching the Illegal Curve post-game show. We're in the midst of the Betway game recap. Dave Minuk is in the top right, Ezra Ginsburg in the bottom middle. I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Jets win 6-2 tonight. Nice to see so many of you joining us. If you haven't already done so, smash the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we do this after each and every Winnipeg Jets game, which means we'll do it again on Monday night. And, of course, Saturday morning, 9 a.m., the Illegal Curve hockey show. We've been doing doing that for many years at this point in time. 2-0 for the Jets. They make it 3-0. And really, as of late, 3 goals for the Jets usually results in a victory. Did tonight. This ultimately is the game-winning goal. It is an unassisted goal for Alex Iafallo, even though Caleb Jones really does deserve an assist on it. In addition to it being the game-winning goal, it's our Seagram's shot of the game.
The Seagram shot of the game.
Big thanks to our friends at Seagram's for their support of the Illegal Curve post-game show. Seagram's, perhaps you like some Fireball. It tastes like heaven. It burns like hell. Allow me to
do a shot, Drew, and I'll do a shot of
demonstrate for
Illegal
everybody.
Curve beer.
Okay. Tastes good if you ask me. Anyways, big thanks to our
That'll
friends.
put hair on your chest, Drew.
Yeah, I got a lot of hair on my chest already. But big thanks to Seagram's for their support of the Illegal Curve post-game show.
You know, Nair has some great products, Drew, if you're ever interested.
I'm not interested in it. But thank you for that advice, though. I'll keep that in mind for future reference. This is just, hockey 101. Caleb Jones is
He'll put the puck up the middle.
Yeah, he's a fringe defenseman at best.
He's Seth Jones' brother, too.
Well, guess what? He's a fringe defenseman at best, no matter who his sibling is. This is just a boneheaded decision. He breaks his stick over the crossbar after Alex Iafallo picks off the pass and then deposits the backhand into the Avalanche net, makes it 3-0, and the Jets will say thank you very much. Definitely the free pizza that Claude Noel used to speak about on display in the downtown Winnipeg arena on this goal, Dave.
Well, obviously Alex Iafallo won. First of all, we got to talk about Gabriel Velarde's goal song. Is he a little Macarena? Everybody was happy to hear Macarena start
doing goal song. I said that at the beginning of the season.
No,
Macarena
Alex Iafallo.
is the best.
No. Come on.
Alex Iafallo's is good too.
Little Poison.
Yeah, Poison rocks.
Yeah, you gotta get
but you can't pour some sugar. But sugar's rare. Sugar's hard to come by. You can't just be pouring sugar on people nowadays.
That's not poison, though.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Is there some type of sugar crisis?
I'm pretty sure that's shortage.
I'm pretty sure that's
is there a
AC/DC
sugar shortage. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What about the sugar supply in Kentucky?
I don't know about Kentucky.
Oh, sorry, Drew.
Supply.
Sorry, it's Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. I knew. I knew it wasn't AC/DC, but yeah. Sorry, my bad.
No. I knew it wasn't poison. I was like, I knew poison. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry.
Let's just look, Alex Iafallo had gone 18 games without a goal, so you knew that he was itching to get on the scoreboard, and I thought he's been playing well, but you'd like to see him actually find the back of the net. So it was a really nice play, and it was a smart play, right? He recognized what Jones was going to do, so he positioned himself well, intercepts the pass, gets it on net quickly, very similar to the Velarde back end, right? As Don Cherry would often say, one of the hardest shots to save in hockey. So
sorry, Dave. I don't know if you're talking about the Jets right now because I'm trying to follow all the sugar related comments that we're getting.
I'll be honest with you. I had absolutely no idea about this whole sugar thing. So I did eat some Smarties during the first period intermission. If anybody's curious, there's sugar there. But I was
with Sammy Sugar.
Sugar Sammy is his name.
Sugar Sammy.
Sorry, Sugar Sammy.
Anywho. So look,
By the way, I'm going to start calling your son Sam Sugar Sammy from now on.
You can do that all you want. Thank you.
And
I'll instruct him to run up to you and punch you in the stomach like he did last time.
Well, the best was on Thursday or Friday. I see Drew and his kids almost every single day now. It's really
I'm so lucky.
But no, it's a nice little bonus. But I went to give Sam a high five the other day. He totally shafted me. I'm like, yep, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Well, just speaking of apples, Ezzy, the play, while we're talking about the Alex Iafallo backhand, which was really nice, it was also the hard work of that line that led to that goal, because there was
pressure.
Really good
there was definite pressure from Perfetti and Nemesnikov.
And Iafallo. Iafallo was the first man in.
Break that goal down any more than what Drew said. It's an absolute free pizza. Claude Noel used to say it's an absolute free pizza by Caleb Jones up the middle of the ice.
Yeah.
And Alex Iafallo takes it, and he makes no mistake about it.
But
you just can't do that, especially when you're down 2-0 already.
But to Dave's point, before Caleb Jones made the error, the Avalanche had to reload.
Oh, absolutely. There was good pressure from that line. And we talked about that line being key, right? That being obviously the Perfetti, Iafallo, Nemesnikov line. So you're right. And that goes to what we're talking about here. The Jets are just playing an overall good brand of hockey.
Yeah.
Like they're just playing well. Like, you can break it down into each area of the ice.
Mhm.
And really, it's just that they're rolling lines. We haven't even really talked about the fourth line. The fourth line was very effective as well.
Yeah, except for
Gustafsson,
Axel
Johnson, Fjällby, and Barron.
taking except for Axel Fjällby for some reason taking like a 4-minute shift, which screwed everybody up in the second period because he took everybody were all sitting there in the press box and I'm like, okay, well he's gonna get off here because Velarde's standing up waiting to get on. Ehlers and Scheifele had been on for like 30 seconds already, 45 seconds, and then Ehlers comes off. Velarde finally gets on because Axel Fjällby comes off, and then Scheifele stays on. So it's Scheifele and Velarde because I thought the lines were all screwed up. And then it ended up being like the longest one ever. But again, like I said, I just getting back to finish off my thought on that. It's that idea of that dogged pursuit. And one of the things that Rick Bowness said was, and he was talking about, this was in reference to Declan Chisholm. He said he was impressed by the fact that he didn't make his problem somebody else's problem. And I thought the Avs did that on that play where the Jets' pursuit forced them to hot potato that puck a little bit. And as a result, they were making bad decisions with the puck. And then it was like, I don't want it. You take it. I don't want it. You take it. And then eventually Jones says, okay, here, Iafallo, you take it. And he puts it into the back of the net. So, I mean, it's a huge goal because, I mean, if the Avs make it a 2-1 game, I'm not suggesting the Jets couldn't have won it, but it just makes it, you just sense that the Jets are feeling that validation for doing those good things and they're getting that reward.
Yeah, exactly right. They play the right way. They play the right hard way. They're a hard opponent to play against, and as a result of being aggressive and being physical on the forecheck, they end up with a golden opportunity, and they make no mistake of it. So well, good point there, Dave. Well said. 3-0 for the Jets after 40 minutes, and what's to me again, the Avalanche, after 40 minutes, they're just not, they don't look like a threatening team. The Jets just have the play in control and they continue to play, in the Avalanche zone. They don't let up. The tendency, of course, when you're up by multiple goals is to maybe go into a defensive shell, and that isn't always a successful MO. And it wasn't for the Winnipeg Jets. It wasn't how they approached it. They kept their foot on the pedal. They just kept and said, look, we're going to keep playing the game we want to play because we know that it's a successful way to play this game. 3-0 until early in the third period, with Josh Morrissey having taken a bit of a sloppy high sticking penalty, one that I'm sure that he would regret. The Avalanche do get on the board. It's Jonathan Drouin, his fourth of the year, assist to Mikko Rantanen and Nathan McKinnon, and it's off the end boards, and Drouin is in a good position, and Connor Hellebuyck can't quite get the big leg over far enough to knock it down, and Drouin lifts it over to put the Avs on the board and make it 3-1, as he.
Yeah, and obviously, that was the goal that ruined the shutout. But I mean, we talked about how good McKinnon and Rantanen were in this game, and you give them a few power plays, and they're probably going to strike. Even though I think the power play has been underwhelming. I forget where they are, guys, but I think it was somewhere around 20th in the NHL. And injuries have played a little bit of a part in that. But look, it's a fortuitous bounce to Jonathan Drouin, right off the shot from Mikko Rantanen, right? It just goes right to Jonathan Drouin. And, Dave, you mentioned, the long shift from Morgan Barron. Mikko Rantanen late in the third period, realized I'm getting ahead of myself. Shift. Yeah, exactly. Like he was on there. I don't know if it was quite 5 minutes, but it was like 3.5 minutes, Drew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just a fortuitous bounce, Dave. And, Drouin gets the Avalanche on the board. And, they had a little bit of life there, but, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really get the feeling the Avalanche were going to be tying this game up. And lo and behold, we know what happened shortly after Jonathan Drouin broke Hellebuyck's shutout.
Well, you to your point there, Ezzy. So it's 3-1 and it's early in the third period. So yes, you wouldn't expect the Jets to collapse or anything because that hasn't been their style. Maybe a previous year's team certainly wouldn't be unheard of. But the Jets, quickly, so the Avs scored at the 2:07 mark. It takes the Jets a minute 33 just to, again, sort of step on the Avalanche throat once and for all in tonight's game. And it's Gabe Vilardi, again, his second of the game, his fourth of the year, assist to Ehlers and Josh Morrissey. And he's just too big and too strong for the Avalanche to handle in front of the net. He's just, I'm going to win this puck battle. and Josh Manson, I believe, was the defender who was on the wrong side of him, and he just said, okay, you're gonna play this poorly defensively. I'll take advantage of the loose puck and I will deposit it behind your goaltender. And thank you very much. I'll make it 4-1, and it's basically all done except for the whatever final story needs to be written at that point, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned this earlier in the show, but I mean that's a minute 33 after you just gave up a goal which could have given your opponent some life.
Right.
You basically seal the deal, because Connor Hellebuck, as good as Colorado can be, Connor Hellebuck isn't giving up 3 goals. He's not giving up one more goal. Or he gave up one more goal, sorry. Yeah. But he's not giving up 2 more goals. We know that, because the Jets do not give up more than 3. So, I mean, it's just a nice play all around. And again, the amazing part to me is it's just the tenaciousness of the Jets. I mean, you've got essentially 5 Avs around Velarde, but they're aggressive and they're quick. And that what it was one of the things we talked about before. The Jets were taking too long. This time they didn't do that. It was the opposite. Scheifele off his stick immediately to Morrissey. Morrissey off his stick right away. I think Ehlers is the one who pushes it forward to Velarde, gets it towards the front of the net, and then he does what he does, which is be big and strong and put it in there and deposit into the open net. But again, like I said, it's just the quick decision making you like to see. And again, Ehlers gets the primary assist there, boys, but you like to see that. That's a hard play for him to kind of get aggressively into the, amongst 2 or 3 guys, get that the loose puck, and get it over to where Velarde is. So a nice play all around by that line. And again, great way to answer to really kill any momentum that the Avs could have created.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to mention one thing too, right? Like, I agree with you. It's a great effort by Ehlers. The point shot from Morrissey, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, Drew. I apologize. I was watching the replay here. I'm not being a very good analyst, but the shot from Morrissey hits Manson.
Yeah.
Right? It hits his pads, his shin pads. Yeah. And Ehlers, pursues the puck and puts it on net. He's falling. And it's Josh Manson who's covering Gabe Velarde. Josh Manson's a big boy. Gabe Velarde's also a big boy. So, like, that's the thing here. Bowen Byram and Josh Manson are 2 of the Avs' best defensemen. Like, these are good players. And Dave's right. Like, that's what you like to see. You allow a goal and you have a 2-goal lead. So it's not like you're just happy to protect a 2-goal lead. What do? You go back down the ice, and Scheifele causes Byram to chase him. So I love the work that Scheifele does. They had a lot of good pressure in the Avs zone there. It's just like this again. I know I keep saying this, but the Jets are just playing good hockey right now. Like, really, like, we've covered this team for 13 years now, and there have been lots of, bad stretches of hockey, especially over the last few years. But you just look at the Jets, and they just seem to be, not letting a goal bother them. They just play the same way throughout the game. And yeah, you're right, Dave. You mentioned this earlier. They're not a perfect team. The special teams definitely need some work. There's always things that you can improve. It's not like they're a flawless team. That's not what we're saying. But, a really impressive response after the Avalanche finally put a goal on the board, and led by Gabe Velarde, who just followed up arguably the best game of his NHL career against the Kings with another just great game against the Avs.
Absolutely. 4-1 at this point in time for the Winnipeg Jets, 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the third period. And then they make it 5-1, 5 minutes and 8 seconds later. At this point in time, they're just showing off a little bit. Nino Niederreiter, his 8th of the year, assist to Nemesnikov and Mason Appleton. And it's just a very pretty passing play, but it starts with good defensive play in the neutral zone. That's where it all starts. It starts with a proper back check. It starts with forcing a turnover. And then it starts with, you talk about connectivity, and you hear analysts talk about that in the course of the game. This is a great demonstration of connectivity on this one, as the Jets are just moving up as a unit all together, with tremendous passing. And I mean, it goes from Appleton to Nemesnikov, across the ice to Niederreiter, who, very easily could have had the Seagram shot of the game here. If I didn't already give it to Alex Iafallo earlier.
We could do more than one. There's no real rule.
I guess I could do more than one, but it's, at this point in time, I think we've done it. Okay. It just looks like how it's supposed to, where you're coming in waves, and this is a wave of Jets forwards, and you're going to watch the replay on that. And I believe the defender coming back or not a defender, but the player coming back for the Avalanche on this one. Hang on, let me just double check. I believe it is. Yeah, it's Mika. Yeah, it's Nichushkin.
Yeah.
Nichushkin, who just
no, it was the Avs top line that was on the ice.
Yeah, they just decide to stop skating. Yeah. They just don't skate back.
Again, the key. What was the key? The key was good defense. The Jets came and played good defense, and they didn't give the Avs time. So while they themselves didn't use a lot of time to make decisions, they didn't give the Avs the opportunity to make decisions with the puck because they did have very good, you talk about the back checking, Drew, that's all back checking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got pressure. And so as a result, the Avs cough up the puck. If you look at the play, and I think it's McKinnon who was open on the left side, but
it was,
if he gets the puck over to McKinnon's got a pretty good shot at a good angle, unobstructed towards Connor Hellebuck. But instead, because they don't make a quick decision, because the Jets don't allow them to, instead, as you've just illustrated, the Jets go the other way, right? Nice play by Brendan Dillon, Appleton and Nemestikov are there, give and go between those two, and then ends off with a real nice play by Nino Niederreiter. So, I mean, again, it's just another example in a night or weeks of examples where this Jets club continues to show that by playing effective defense, you can turn those into offensive opportunities, and the reward is a goal.
Boys, I've found the word that I've been looking for to describe the way the Jets are playing. Suffocating, right? Like that's what that was. That was suffocating with the back pressure and not giving the Avalanche any time or space. They did that to the Kings in the second and third periods. Because if you remember, the first period was largely dominated by the Kings, but especially in the second and third period, the Kings just really couldn't do anything. Suffocating is what the Jets are doing, and it's not just that line. It's not just the Lowry line. It's not just the Scheifele line or the fourth line, whoever happens to be on the fourth line. Obviously, it's Gustafsson, Barron, Janssen, Fjallby now, but it's just they're not giving teams a lot of time and space, and they're causing turnovers. I think the takeaways were 9 for the Jets and 1 for the Avalanche. So that's a telling stat right there, boys.
Yeah, that tells you exactly that they're playing the defense, that their commitment to defense is what it needs to be and what it hasn't been for so many years. It's amazing that this is, the few roster changes have completely changed the way this team plays and their commitment, to the defensive side of the game first and foremost. It's 5-1 at this point for the Winnipeg Jets. So you know that the party is on in downtown Winnipeg. The Avs make it 5-2. Jack Johnson,
nice
grizzled
goal.
Yeah, grizzled veteran that he is. Jack Johnson, a nice goal, assisting Nichushkin and McKinnon. This coming at the 10:41 mark as he goes top shelf on Connor Hellebuck. This was an instance where the Jets got a little bit loose, I thought, with their defensive coverage, as is going to happen when you have a 5-1 lead. Better that happen when you're up 5-1 than when it's 2-1 game. But this was an instance got a little loose there, and it's 5-2 with about half of the third period to go on this one, Ezzy.
Yeah, I mean, the Scheifele, Velarde, Ehlers line was out there, right? Yeah. And they just
bench him.
Exactly. They turned over the puck in the Avalanche zone, and then it was a 3-on-2 coming the other way, right? And I agree with Dave. Like, this was a nice goal from Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, great to see Jack Johnson still in the NHL playing well, considering everything that's gone through with his parents. Everybody, you can read about that story if you don't know about that story, but Jack Johnson.
His parents stole all his money, is what happened, folks.
Yeah, that's the
really quick version.
Yeah, it's really a crazy story, yes. Yeah. But nice little pass. Was it Nichushkin that passed it to Johnson? I forget. It was a nice, I think it was Nichushkin, right, boys?
Yeah, it was Nichushkin. Nice McKinnon with the secondary assist, Nichushkin to Johnson, who was coming up on the play.
And so you don't like the fact that the Jets gave up a late goal, but that's a garbage goal, guys. Like, it's 5-2 at that point, and the Avalanche
5-1 at that point.
Pardon me. Well, 5-1, and then they made it 5-2.
Makes it 5-2.
Yeah, exactly. But the Avalanche had another chance. They got another power play. When Adam Lowry took that tripping penalty, they weren't able to do anything with it. So, I mean, that goal turned out to be meaningless, and you don't love it. But maybe, with the exception of that goal, the Jets played, pretty much as good of a home game as you would like to see against a really good Avalanche team.
Well, before we, you're right. The Avs did have that power play. This is with Lowry goes to the box with 13. The penalty comes at 13:25 mark. So there's about 6.5 minutes to go in the game, and the Avs, of course, are down by 3, so they have to go extra aggressive, and they go with the 6-on-4. The Jets did a very good job at keeping everything to the outside. They did a very good job at just staying within their lanes, staying, connected. And Colorado, with even having the 2-man advantage, just really weren't able to penetrate the middle of the Jets defense.
They had the
And
puck
so-
in the Jet zone, Drew, like for
Yeah.
like a solid 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
But they just didn't really exactly like, McKinnon was doing his thing. Rantanen was doing his thing. They were moving the puck around and skating. But most of the shots that got through Hellebuck saw, there weren't a lot of good rebounds or second chances. So I agree. I mean, and did they pulled their goalie with like 6.5 minutes left?
Yeah, when the power play started,
it was 1 minute into the power play. So
1 minute in.
Yeah, so they had some good pressure, but I mean, it wasn't exactly, one of the best power plays you've ever seen.
No, it certainly wasn't, but the Jets did a good job in just, staying calm and staying, focused on their positioning and everything else. And, that's really been the story of this Jets team as of late, is just how consistent and how steady they've been in all of their approach to the game. And then, of course, Nikolai Ehlers into the empty net wraps it all up. That's his 10th of the year assist to Mark Scheifele.
Ruins our fun stat, though, Drew.
What's the
all the goals were scored by guys acquired within the last year.
It did ruin that fun stat, but the fun stat still is pretty good, that the first 5 goals of the game for the Winnipeg Jets, and that should be, look, I've been critical of Kevin Cheveldayoff. A lot of people have been critical of Kevin Cheveldayoff, but everything that he has done transaction wise as of late has paid off very well for the Winnipeg Jets. So he deserves kudos as well. If we're going to criticize, and I don't think we've ever been unfair with our criticisms, but if we're going to criticize, at the same time, we have to praise. And, everybody within the Winnipeg Jets organization right now deserves praise. And that includes the general manager of the team, as the guys he's acquired for Pierre-Luc Dubois have certainly been worth their weight in gold, along with the Mesnikov and Niederreiter guys they got for absolute steals.
By the way, remember when the Jets were on a run and then Rick Bowness came back and then folks were, and then they lost and people, or they won and then they lost and then people were like, oh, Rick Bowness, he's doing all right. The team seems to be firing pretty well. So
Dave, remember when the Jets were 1-3 and people were freaking out?
You're right about that, but
that was also an opportunity for Drew to say, still think the Oilers aren't going to make the playoffs.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was actually funny. It was pretty funny. So as he texts me, when was that game going on? Thursday night, when the Oilers and Tampa Bay were playing. And as he texts me and he's like, you were right, the Oilers are going to make the playoffs. They're absolutely dominating Tampa Bay. When you texted me the shots on goal,
that was like me putting my king down in chess, Dave. Like that was me being like, yep, you won.
Yeah, it was pretty. Hang on. So you texted me that, and you said the shots were 32-12 for Edmonton at that point in time over Tampa Bay. I wasn't watching the game.
The Blues won.
Family stuff. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tampa Bay ended up winning that game 7-4.
7-4. Yeah.
So,
Stamkos had like 4 goals.
The Ginsburg kiss of death is a remarkable thing to see in action, and that was another one. At least it didn't impact.
Todd Richards hasn't been seen since, Drew.
Yeah.
Just true. Should mention that the Blues did win in overtime over the Dallas Stars.
I was watching it. It just ended.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's in overtime. So Dallas earns a point. So they move up they will be atop the I'm just looking at regulation wins. The Jets will finish the night atop the Central Division. All 3 teams are tied with 38 points. And the Jets and the Stars have played a game less than the Avalanche, but the Jets will get first place in the Central Division by virtue of their 16 regulation wins, whereas the Dallas Stars have 13 regulation wins. So as we go to bed tonight on December the 16th, the Winnipeg Jets are atop the Central Division. The clear 3-headed monster that is leading the Central, the Jets, the Avs, and the Stars, and I expect that.
Well, don't be too dismissive of Nashville, because some of us will be watching their farm club in action tomorrow, and despite the fact that everyone was leaving them for dead, they're only 2 points back of everyone, and they've won 4 in a row. So
Andrew Brunette deserves a lot of credit for the work he's done with that group.
So I'm just saying that Nashville is not, you called it a three-headed monster, Drew, but there's kind of that differentiation. And then Arizona, even though they won their last game, they're 8 points back. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a mix in the top four, and then it's a bit of a drop.
You know, I saw somebody tweeted it. I don't know I can't remember if it was Aaron Portzline, our buddy who works for The Athletic and covers the Blue Jackets, or if it was Mike Harrington who covers the Buffalo Sabres. I think it was one of the two of them. I can't remember which one, who said like the pace to make the playoffs in the East is something like 96 points is the sort of the line of demarcation would be in the East, and in the West it's something like 86. So you can see where it's a bit of a top heavy league, and the better teams are residing in the Eastern Conference, or at least there's more better teams in the Eastern Conference than there are in the West. So
yet the West has won the Stanley Cup 3 of the last 4 years.
Right. So, I mean, you know, of course it doesn't really mean anything, but in terms of regular season performance, it's going to take a lot fewer points right now to make the playoffs in the West than it's going to take to make the playoffs in the East. But nonetheless, for the Winnipeg Jets, they are going to go to bed in first place in the Central Division. They win 6-2 on home ice tonight to start a 4-game homestand. They're next in action on Monday night against the Montreal Canadiens, an original 6 matchup in downtown Winnipeg.
Original 6 week, boys.
Yeah,
3 original 6 teams in town.
Yeah. Monday against Montreal, Wednesday against Detroit, and next Friday against the Boston Bruins. And that is going to wrap up the pre-Christmas portion of the schedule. We are next in action on Monday night. Post game is going to be around 9:15. It's a 6:30 puck drop on Monday night, so a bit earlier of a puck drop, which means a bit earlier of the Illegal Curve post-game show. Let's head to break. When we come back, we'll read some of the comments from the Winnipeg Jets dressing room tonight, touch a little bit more on this game, the Tough Duck hardest hitting comment. Ezzy's going to get one of those ready, so stay with us and find out if you are going to win a toque courtesy of our friends at Tough Duck. More Jets talk to come your way on this Saturday night. Dave Manouk's here. Ezra Ginsburg's here. 400 or so of you are here as well. I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Don't go anywhere. Smash the like button. It's the Illegal Curve post-game show.
Your coworkers love you because you always make them laugh. You're the life of the party with stories that have them rolling on the floor. Or maybe you're just the quiet one in the corner with the one-liners that just slay. Do you have what it takes to become Winnipeg's funniest person with a day job? Try your luck. Hit the stage at Rumors Comedy Club, and you could be walking away with $1,000 cash. Winnipeg's funniest person with a day job, presented by Rumors. For all the details, head to rumorscomedyclub.com.
So you're a pizza person, you married a wing person, but somehow your kids are salad people. You can't pick your fam, but you can pick your BP meal deal, starting from $18.99 for takeout or delivery at bostonpizza.com.
The game can change just like that. Accidents happen when you aren't protected. So now what? Getting to your injury quickly can make all the difference. Help prevent them from being game changers with Linden Market Dental Center. Bonding, crowns, bridges, and dental implants. State-of-the-art treatments are available to help you get back in the game. To learn more, visit lindenmarketdentalcenter.com. Creating smiles for life.
Whoa, Ezzy, everything okay? You look stressed.
Of course I'm stressed. We're moving, the house is upside down, the kids failed miserably at packing the fine china, and my life is in chaos. Chaos!
Yes, that does sound like a problem.
What am I going to do?
Ezzy, relax. Rolly's Transfer Moving and Storage is the answer. With 60 years of experience in moving Manitobans and a track record of exemplary customer service, one call to Rolly's and your stress is gone. No job is too big or too small. Just visit Rollies.com and they will take it from there.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, Rollies Transfer Moving and Storage, online at Rollies.com.
Boston Pizza harnessed Betalytics to test if the game is better at home or at Boston Pizza. The results are irrefutable. Catch the game at Boston Pizza, powered by Betalytics.
For 3 generations and over 80 years, Tough Duck has been making apparel that works and plays as hard as the people who wear it. From jackets to work boots and everything in between, Tough Duck's clothing can handle the harshest environments, even the illegal curve hockey show. Work to live, live to play. Visit toughduck.com. 10 minutes before 10 o'clock, welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg with you. Our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club asked me to give this a little bit of love for the first time ever to celebrate Rumors' 40th year in business. 40 years of bringing Winnipeg the best in stand-up comedy. For the first time ever, Rumors is introducing a season ticket package for $80. You get one Friday show per month from January through October. In July and August, you get 2 Friday shows per month. But if you don't want to use it on a Friday, if you want to come on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday instead, you get 4 tickets. So it's good for 2 tickets to a Friday show, 4 tickets to a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday show. The season ticket package can be purchased through the Rumors website. RumorsComedyClub.com can also, of course, be purchased in person at Rumors as well. So there you go. For the comedy fan in your life, if you're looking for perhaps a Christmas gift or a stocking stuffer, think about season tickets to Rumors for the 2024 calendar year. Big thanks to our friends at Rumors for their continued support of the Illegal Curve post-game show. Want to make mention of some of the post-game comments that have occurred earlier tonight from the Jets dressing room. The first one, courtesy of our friend Murat Atesh. He's the one who's putting these out into the Twitter sphere. This is Rick Bowness paying kudos to General Manager Kevin Cheveldayoff. We just did that as well on this program. I know a lot of people are praising Chevy as of late for some of the moves. Rick Bowness is among those people as well. Listen, all of the depth on the team, it's fantastic. For the most part, the 5-on-5 game was really good because of the depth of the team, because of the moves Chevy made. That's Jets head coach Rick Bowness giving praise to the Jets.
Shout out for Chevy there from Bones. I like that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's he deserves it. He deserves it. He got a lot of criticism, and the moves he made, he slow played his hand as he often does, and he slow played it very well so far, at least in who the Jets acquired from the Los Angeles Kings. More from Rick Bowness on the success the Jets have had since the Kyle Connor injury. As we mentioned, 11 goals scored in the 2 games since Connor went down. Well, I guess it's been more than 2 games because the San Jose game as well. But so the last 2 games, at least, without Kyle Connor. Quote, "We're not going to replace Kyle. We're not trying to replace Kyle. What we need from everyone is a commitment to be the best version of themselves every night. And we've been getting that." They certainly have the last couple of nights, the Winnipeg Jets in the win in Los Angeles and the win tonight as well against the Colorado Avalanche. The Jets have certainly been getting everything they'd want from their players. One last one from Rick Bowness on Gabe Velarde's rising star. That's Murat Atesh's words. Quote, "I love his patience with the puck. He has that sense of when and when not to make the play. He hangs on to it long enough and lets the play develop, then takes advantage of it." There you go. Rick Bowness full of praise for his Winnipeg Jets team, deservingly so, with the 6-2 victory over the Colorado Avalanche tonight, Ezzy.
I would just quickly, before
Dave,
as he jumps in, I was just going to say those comments by Rick Bowness, once you're done listening to us, are available on our YouTube channel. So you can go listen in full. They'll be on illegalcurve.com once I get around to doing the recap, which I wasn't able to because there's too much going on. But they'll also be on our YouTube channel. So go check those out once you are done listening to us.
And I want to address Rick Bowness's comments. I also want to address, I think it was it Sparky? Somebody was calling me out for my old toque. This isn't that old. I think Seagram's gave us this toque like last year, but yeah, it's Sparky. Was it Sparky?
Yeah, I think it was Sparky.
Here we go. Hold on. I'll pull that up again. I put up the comment in the first place, but Sparky, got beef with me here for my old tooth. I don't think it's that old, but anyway, shout out to Seagrams for hooking us up with this gear. But yeah, I mean, look at Gabe Vilardi. We knew he was going to take a little bit of time after coming back from the injury. But yes, certainly the last 2 games, he's been one of the Jets' best players, if not their best player. And, that line's doing great. And, talking about Kyle Connor, I think, again, got to give Dave M credit here. A lot of people were, freaking out a little bit and saying, call up Jeff Malott, call up big bad Brad Lambert. And, I think we knew better. And I think Chevy and the Jets knew better. They know they have a lot of good forward depth here to withstand a couple months without Kyle Connor. Yeah, it sucks, but that's what good teams do, guys. And that's why I agree with what you said earlier, Drew, about Cale Makar. The Avalanche aren't going to use Cale Makar's absence as an excuse here. They were beat. The Jets were the better team tonight. Maybe next time these 2 teams meet, the Avalanche will be the better team. But you can't, Cale Makar is, arguably the Norris favorite right now. But you've also got a lot of other good players on that team, right? The Avalanche won the Stanley Cup a couple of years ago. Let's not forget, right? So, yeah, I mean, the Jets forward depth, look, they don't have Kupari. They don't have Kyle Connor. They were without Gabe Vilardi, and all they keep doing is winning. So, yeah, Chevy deserves a lot of credit. The players deserve a lot of credit for how they're playing right now. And the coaching staff, I think, deserves a lot of credit for how this team is bought in to the way you need to play defensively to be successful.
It's pretty simple. It is pretty simple some ways. It starts in your own zone and it goes from there. And the Jets certainly have been
I am the simple son, Drew. So
you said it, not me there, simple son. Simple son, do you have a Tough Duck hardest hitting comment for tonight?
I do. We're going to give it
let me just play the
get the intro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Tough Duck hardest hitting comment.
There you go. Who wins it?
Yeah, we're going to give it to Disgruntled Wheat. Great name. I'm not sure if Disgruntled Wheat has won before, but he's a frequent chatter. He's a frequent watcher of the Illegal Curve postgame show. So Disgruntled Wheat, we appreciate you watching. We appreciate everyone watching the tonight's postgame show. Amazing how the Jets handle clearing assignments in their own zone by skating the puck out or smarter dumps has led to more offensive chances while cutting down cardiac hockey in our end. I really like that comment. Merci, Bones. Merci means thank you. That's French, Drew. Just wanted to clarify that for you. But Disgruntled
International.
Wheat,
that's Hebrew for thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Disgruntled Wheat, send me an email, Ezra@illegalcurve.com, or slide into my DMs on X/Twitter and send me your mailing address, and I will come visit you. No, Tough Duck will ship out a tooth to you.
I will show up in your living room.
Yeah. Spency and I will show up with a flat top grill with pancakes, bacon, and hash browns and sausages. Can we talk about how good this morning was again? I mean, that was so much fun at Farmery. We definitely have to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to talk about that for sure. We got to talk about what your Drew's boy. Mr. Blue Jays was in the house. I'm assuming they showed that on TV, right?
I don't know that they showed it on TV now that you mention it, Dave. Yes, really? They did. They showed him. They showed him with the t-shirt cannon. You're right. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I thought it was just funny that he was like, they showed him with like, he was basically with a t-shirt cannon like the entire time, and I was just like, and they kept shoving it in his face. I was like, what is going on here? But I mean, look, it's although I think they spelled his name wrong on the thing. I think it's with a K.
It is with a K.
Yeah. And they spelled it on the thing with the C.
Eric Swanson is his name. He's a Blue Jays pitcher.
Eric Swanson. He's the reliever. He's from North Dakota.
Yeah, he's from North Dakota. He's got some family ties to Manitoba as well.
Yeah, Mike McIntyre wrote an article about him in the Free Press.
Right.
Anyways, I just thought it was fun that they did that, and he just talked about being in Winnipeg, and it was a bucket list thing for him to be at a Jets game and stuff like that. So kind of interesting to hear them having that conversation with the Jays pitcher, and that sort of little love fest that they did there. And the other thing we should probably mention is tonight was the first time they've ever done the national anthem in Punjabi in any major professional sport. I thought it was neat. Yeah. Of course, you're going to get some people who complain. It's like, guys, it's like once in
they're
42 games,
about
like
children singing an anthem.
Yeah,
don't complain about children doing anything unless they're
honestly,
your own kids.
I don't feel less Canadian listening to it in Punjabi for like once every 42 games. It's not the end of the world. You're giving some people who are, part of this community to be feeling more like they're part of it. It's not the end of the world. It's a language, right? It's not a religion. It's not anything else. Like, just chill. And it was a nice moment. And look, it was a nice way to celebrate the Southeast Asian community in Manitoba.
Yes,
and
it was
so
South
there was-
Asian Heritage Night at the
I
rink
said
tonight.
Southeast Asian. I meant
Yeah.
I just meant South Asian Heritage Night. So it was a nice way to celebrate that community in Manitoba, and there were a lot of folks, throughout the night that were celebrated during the game and throughout the game. So that was just something that was worth mentioning as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a nice job, and the kids did great singing the anthem, and just full marks to them for doing that. And really, the Jets do those nights really well. And they and kudos to everybody involved in that. It makes for a special occasion for people in
Shout
those
out to our
communities
boy,
and the kids.
K Ballsy.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly right.
No practice, by the way, no practice for the Jets tomorrow. So
Not
they
surprised.
not surprised either. So the Jets will be back on the ice Monday as they get ready for Johnny Kovacevic and the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah,
The Johnny Kovacevic revenge game, boys.
It'll be something like that. The post-game show on Monday night will be around 9:15, give or take, back here on the YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. And of course, illegalcurve.com is your home and your destination for all Winnipeg Jets and Manitoba Moose news later on tonight with the post-game recap. Tomorrow, Dave will be covering the Moose and the Admirals, and then Monday,
and it's a teddy bear toss.
Yes.
Well, it's the teddy bear toss, Dave, and I'll let you keep talking about the Moose. But to Disgruntled Wheat's comment, I work downtown at Hockey Manitoba, so this is a very nice gesture by him.
Yeah,
I will absolutely make sure that Main Street Project gets a Tough Duck toque. It's a very nice thing that he's doing. I'm assuming
just
it might be a she, but
for the folks who are listening on the podcast.
Yeah.
Disgruntled Wheat, once he or she realized that they had won, wheat can be whatever, said if it's at all possible, it's going to get cold out there and people at Main Street Project need warmth quite bad. Any chance to donate the toque to Main Street Project. So that's really nice of you, Disgruntled Wheat, and Ezzy will make sure that takes place.
It has been one hell of a day for us here. And
whoa, beep, beep, beep. I wasn't finished. You thought you could disconnect me from a Moose thought? No, I'm just kidding. I got nothing. We'll talk about the Moose tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, we won't talk about the Moose tomorrow. I will talk about
You'll cover the Moose tomorrow. But if you're going to the Moose game, bring a teddy bear. Bring
that's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's all I was going to say. Is make sure Disgruntled Wheat is a he. But no, I was just going to say, like, if you can bring a teddy bear to the Moose game, it's for a good cause. I believe Christmas cheerboard. But it's really nice. They do it during the intermission. A lot of AHL teams will do it right when the first goal happens, or the junior teams. But the Moose do it. It doesn't kill the flow of the game, so they'll do it during the first They used to do it during the game, but now they'll do it during the first intermission. A lot of fun, and so we'll hopefully see you there tomorrow. I will be there not with bells on, but I'll be there.
And Dave, you're going to be in Autograph Alley as well.
No, but I do realize I have a conflict. Speaking of the Moose, that I'm going to have. And unfortunately, I committed to doing some color for the Moose at the end of the month, and I realized because of the way the schedule works that there's that wild game. The
30th or the 31st.
Yeah, and I don't think either of you guys or Drew, you might be part of that one. I'm not sure, but Ezzy, I know is for sure not. So
I'll be out of the country. Drew, we might see Dave for the first time ever do color for the Moose while he's simultaneously doing a post-game show. Like at the same time, he's going to be talking about he won't finish his thoughts. He'll just analyze the Jets game and then he'll analyze the Moose game. It might be the first time it's ever been done in sports media history, but I think Dave Manu could do it.
He's a multitasking expert.
As good as I am, hold on. Although I do have to give, we have to give the people what they want, and otherwise the show doesn't work.
Don't
put on your antlers. It's time for the Minuk Moose Minute on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show.
Nothing happened with the Moose.
Doesn't matter. I'm a man of the people.
Yeah,
the voice of Fire said, "How has this been a Moose Minute without the Moose Minute?"
Any time is good for a Minuk Moose Minute. You don't have to have anything to talk about. You could just hit that bumper and let Dave M talk about the Moose any day of the week.
Anyway, so I just realized that today, though. I was like, "Ooh, I got a bit of a conflict." I agreed to do color, and I'm supposed to be doing this post-game show, potentially solo. So that might be a bit of an issue. So I will unfortunately be letting Daniel know that tomorrow. I don't think that I'll be on the color for that one, but I'll see. I'm sure I'll be doing Moose colors soon enough.
You'll multitask your way out of this problem.
I could do like certain things I can do, but I don't think I can do that.
Bailey brings up a good point, and it was great seeing Bailey earlier today at the at Farmery Brewing. She came by with her dad for the cookout, for the bar, for the pancakes and the bacon. Rutger McGroarty made Team USA's roster for the World Junior Hockey Championship. So you remember a couple months ago, I guess it was probably a couple months ago now, he went out injured in that game for the University of Michigan. I believe
not a couple months ago. It was in November.
Okay, it was stretchered off the ice, if I'm not mistaken. He's back. Seems to be fully healthy, and he's going to go to Sweden and be a key member of Team USA's roster at the upcoming.
Well, remember
World
last
Junior.
week what Craig Button said? He said that he thought that there was a good chance Rutger McGroarty was going to be the captain, boys.
Yeah. And so, he was wearing the non-contact jersey during their training camp, but clearly he's been cleared to play full steam ahead for Team USA. So there you go. You can keep an eye on that when the World Junior Hockey Championship gets underway on Boxing Day, as it always does. This time from Gothenburg, Sweden, is where it's taking place. Not in North America, but overseas in Sweden.
I had a nice dinner at IKEA last night, speaking of Sweden.
That's good to know. Thank you for...
I didn't drive a Saab there, but...
Okay, but what about a Volvo?
No.
Okay, what'd you have?
Nissan.
You have the meatballs?
I did. I had the festive Swedish meal.
Well, what made it festive? God, I don't really. I think I'm gonna.
Well, you fell right into that trap.
It's that time of year, right? Like it's it's fries and mashed potatoes, and actually, no, that's not true. I had fish and chips.
Wow, Bailey, by the way, is going to cheer for the U.S. over Canada.
So hang on. Not only did you not have, you didn't even have you had nothing festive, and you didn't have any meatballs.
No,
you had fish and chips.
I take my kids there once every couple of weeks. Like when Naomi has a meeting or something, I take them to IKEA because it's great. We do a little walk around, and it's reasonably priced.
Yeah, you take a nap in one of the beds that are on display.
No question.
Exactly.
No question.
Yeah,
Takes off all his clothes,
IKEA.
which is very uncomfortable.
He jumps into the shower. The shower doesn't work. He's just standing there.
The worst part, Drew, is when he uses the toilet.
All righty, we've gone off the deep end, no question about it. Want to say a big thank you to everybody that joined us for the post-game show, for everyone who joined us this morning, whether you were able to join us live at Farmery Brewing, and again, shout out to Spency, who kept everybody well fed. He had a fantastic spread set up and tailgated and everything. So huge kudos to Spency for that, and for all of you joining us this morning and joining us tonight for the Illegal Curve post-game show. And of course, a big thank you to our sponsors. They make this show, they make the Saturday show, they make the website a possibility. That's our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Linden Market Dental Center, Zappia Group Realty, Farmery Beer, that's where we were earlier today, Rolly's Transfer, Seagram's Shot of the Game, Boston Pizza, Tough Duck, and the title sponsor of the post-game show, Betway. They are all key members of the Illegal Curve family, just like all of you are as well. Monday night, 9:15, that's the post-game show after the Jets and the Habs. IllegalCurve.com is your destination. Smash the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave us feedback here, leave us feedback on iTunes, leave us feedback on Google Podcasts, leave us feedback everywhere, and we always appreciate hearing what you have to say about these fine programs. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Be safe. We'll see you Monday night. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra
Drew,
Ginsburg.
if anybody wants Moose tickets, 2 more. I got them back I had given them all away. Sorry, Drew. We've got 2 more Moose tickets. So if anybody wants to go to the Moose game,
wow.
I've got 2 Moose tickets.
Just like that, the ticket machine is back on, Dave.
I forgot to say, I just hit me because I offered them to someone else, but just before Drew cuts us off, hold on, I'll do the Manouk bumper again. But no, two Moose tickets for tomorrow's game, 2 p.m. If you want to go in the IC zone, hit me up, Dave at Illegal Curve or IC Dave.
There you go. So send Dave a message and you can go to tomorrow afternoon's Moose Admirals game, but bring that teddy bear for the Christmas cheerboard. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mindell. Thanks everyone for joining us until Monday night at around 9:15. We wish you good night and good luck. And thanks for watching the Illegal Curve post-game show.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast from Illegal Curve Hockey. For more great Illegal Curve content, subscribe to the Illegal Curve YouTube channel, follow at Illegal Curve on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and visit your online home for hockey in Winnipeg, illegalcurve.com.